when my people camped here, they used to see this beast in the water. They said it was black and had a long neck and kind of had a lot of oval-shaped head. But they never saw the bottom because they would only see the neck in the water as it was going east. And so they knew it was here. And my people, they know that the water is very special. It's I don't want to say sacred, but it's very special to us. That's the reason why people live, is water, land, fire, and air. And they don't abuse it. They try to appease all these four things. And then they know that water it's a dangerous environment, so they thought that anything that was living in it was inherently dangerous to our people. When they saw this beast that was living in the water, they would not try to capture it or do anything with it, but they would try to appease it along with the water that was flowing. And it would go down. There is a junction here from the South Fork and the North Fork and another river. So when it went down just a little below where the dam is today, the Shoshone Dam stands, they used to see it. And there's a little place that people can go there and they would see it. And so this young man, his name was Fringe. And for some reason, he wanted to fast there to see if he could get some energy from this beast. So he went down there to a flat place in the side of the mountain and waited for this beast. And he would see him sometimes, but the beast never gave him any gifts and never stopped. And so he fasted there for 4 days, and then nothing happened. But he saw this beast going through there. He heard that there was another, maybe the same creature, or another creature was at Thermopolis. And so he decided to fast there. And there is a rock, kind of an island where Thermopolis stands now. There's a flat rock in the middle of the river. And he went there and fasted on this flat rock. And this beast came up. And when he came up, the water went up. The water level went up to the level of the rock. And then this beast came out and gave him his energy. He said, you can live in the water, you can walk on the water, and you can cure any type of sickness if you take them in the river. When this happened, the people would go to him and he would take them in the sweat lodge. He would take them in the sweat lodge, and then he would have the people stand and sing 3 of his songs, and then yell as loud as they could, and then he would come out and take them in the river. And as soon as he took them in the river, they were healed in an instant. So he was a very famous medicine man that lived in the 1850s. And one time, at the junction of the Bighorn River and the Yellowstone River, there was a war party there that went through there. And when there was a crossing just below the junction, and when they got there, the leaders of the band saw that there were a lot of bones by the riverbank. And so they stopped and they said, there's something strange is going on here. There's too many bones. So they waited, and the war party stopped, but there was a young man. And as soon as he came up, he went towards, before they could stop him, they went into the water and made his horse drink. And as soon as he got in the river, this beast grabbed him by the nose and took him in the deep water. And then when he took him in the deep water, he let the horse go and grabbed the young man by the ankle. And then he went around in circles. He went around in circles, and then the war party tried to help him. And one man with the energy that he got from a wasp, a huge wasp, he tied his wasp behind his head. He put his knife in his mouth and swam out there and grabbed the young man, and tried to drag him to the riverbank. When he got to the riverbank, the beast would drag him back. So he did this 3 times, and then he finally quit. And then another man with the energy of a dragonfly, he tied his dragonfly to his head, and also went in and and almost dragged the beast onto the bank, but same thing happened. They dragged him back 3 times, and then he went in the middle of the river. And this young man finally spoke. He said, "Just let me go." He said, "This thing has crushed my ankles. Even if you took me back, I would be useless. My legs would be useless. So just let me go." And so the beast took him to a whirlpool, and then he disappeared into the water. When the war party went back, they told what happened to his parents, to the parents of the man that was taken in Yellowstone River. And so they looked for the Fringe. They knew that he could do something to try to take this young man back. And so they found Fringe, and he said, I will get him back, but I'm only given 4 days to bring them back and alive. He said, "But you passed the 4 days already, but I will go see what I can do." All the crows got together at the junction of the Bighorn and the Yellowstone River where the beast took this young man. Fringe told the parents, he said, "I'm only given 4 days in which I can find the young man and bring him back alive. And so chances are slim, but I will go and try to find him." So they built a sweat lodge. He built a sweat lodge and had a special helper, and he beat his drum and sang special songs for the Fringe. When he sang these 4 songs, he came out of the teepee, and beforehand he told them to line up from the teepee all the way down to the riverbank. And he said, "As soon as I come out, make noises like you were in a battle. You must shut your eyes when I come out. But when I get to the river, I'll yell 4 times. And then when I do that, stop, and then you can open your eyes." And so they went in the sweat lodge and they sang the song. And then when he came out, all the people shut their eyes and started making noises like they were in a war, in a battle. And so we went to the river, and then he shouted 4 times, and the people stopped, and they opened their eyes. And here he was walking on the water, and he was asking the people that were there where the beast took the young man. And he walked on the water, and then when he got there, they gave him directions, and he stopped. And he said, "Is this the place?" And they said, "Yes." And then he said, "In 4 days I will come back. I will go in the river, and then in 4 days I will come back. So wait for me. On the 4th day, build another sweat lodge and wait for me. When I come back, as soon as I come back, I will go in the sweat lodge." And then he went into the river. And then he went to the junction of the Yellowstone and the Missouri River. And that's where the beasts have their teepee. And so they were waiting for the French. They were having their council. In the back of the teepee, there was the beast, and there was a giant snapping turtle. They were the headmen of the water beasts. So he went down there and went inside the teepee. And when he went inside, the snapping turtle kept asking the beast, the water beast. He said, "Why don't you give me your son so I can eat him? I want to eat him." And so he kept saying this, "I want to eat your son." So the water beast said, "This is the reason why we took that young man, the snapping turtle." He said he always tries to catch the people as they're crossing the river, and when he catches them, he eats them. A long time ago, when the people were crossing the river, he tried to catch one, and one of the teepee poles swung, and his eye went out. The teepee went through his eye, and he's been blind in one eye, and his face is all scarred up. That's why he hates the people so much. He said, "But I control him." And he said, I waited for you. The man you are looking for, I brought him. I brought him here, but on the 4th day, my people ate him. But they took 4 quarters. They took one leg to the 3 Forks, another one to the Great Falls, and another one to the Yellowstone River. So they took him in four pieces. So if you want him back, I'll bring him back and I'll put him together again. And so this beast went and took all the parts together and made him whole again. And so Fringe brought him back on the fourth day, and he came up in the same place and walked on the water and went to the bank, and here they made noises like they were in battle, and then he went inside the sweat lodge, and here they sang songs, and the people were supposed to close their eyes, but they said there was one boy that didn't close his eyes, and he saw this. When he came out, he was one of the beasts. He changed into the beast, and when he went inside the teepee, after he came out, he was himself again. And he brought this young man back, but it was already dead. This is the things that the beast did, and it happened here. My great-grandfather was there. Yeah, he was standing there, but he was way in the back because he was still a young boy. He didn't see too much about it, but afterwards people talked about it, and that's how he learned about it. They saw the beast here, and we call that buluksée. The way they describe this is different. This one has no legs, just a huge body and a tail and a long neck. Maybe a flipper or so, but they never saw below his neck. This one they call the beast inside the water, bimumagola. So there must be a difference. They say this was a bigger one, according to the stories. And they said it had a smell to it, almost like a sulfur when it got near. Anything that lives in a dangerous environment, does not pity the human condition. It would rather eat them than give them gifts. That's what they thought. That's what I think too.